Chicago, and it will be to advantage. You can see the guys will be so motivated to get a result against them. I see us placing second at least in this.
I think Ghana is your most difficult game would be against Panama. Panama are a very physical team. They're very dominant on the ball.
Yeah.
They're in peak physical shape. We are not in a great physical shape going into this tournament. We've played only one friendly game. Panama have managed, I think, 3 up until this point. They've played a lot of football. And they're very fit. A lot of their players play in the MLS. The MLS is a league.
They're used to the weather.
Yes, exactly. And the MLS is a league that emphasizes, and American sport generally it's an environment that emphasizes a lot on physical fitness. So they will never stop running. It's the reason we always have such battles with the United States, because the skill might not be there, but the desire and the hunger and the physical ability to keep going will never be missing. That's the character of this Panamanian team. On top of that, they've had a coach that has been in charge of this team for the past 5 years. So they've built a certain chemistry, a certain cohesion.
Yeah.
And it's so they will be a big opponent for us. If we can get past them,
I want to bring in some of our guests online right now. Do we have George Addo Jr. joining us? Is he on? Okay. Who else do we have on the Zoom right now with us? I want to bring him into the conversation very quickly, so we can get him to weigh in on this.
Okay, Juan Arango is joining us. I've been obviously we've been interacting a lot on the internet. Very outspoken journalist with HRN Media Network in the United States. I think Juan is originally Argentine, based in the US. We can find out now. Juan, thank you very much for joining us this evening here in Joynies. Where about are you right now? One, if you can unmute. I don't know, I think one might be muted at the moment, but yeah, as I was saying, one, can you hear me now? Okay, one is still trying to unmute. Technology.
Okay, we'll get them.
Technology is not your friend.
We'll get them. We have also joining us pretty shortly. The minister will join us. George will join us. One is ready. Minister George Addo Jr. in the UK will join, because I want to get his thoughts on, the England dynamics.
Hi, Juan. A lovely evening to you, and thanks for joining us here on PM Express. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. How are you? How's it going?
I'm doing well. Good to finally speak to you. We've been interacting on the timeline for the longest time. How are you?
I'm doing well. Everything doing, like they say here, it's not the heat, it's the humidity that's affecting everybody. And that's been one of the major talking points, at least in Miami, getting ready for the World Cup.
Okay. By the way, before we go, where about in the U.S. are you at the moment?
Miami.
Oh, you're in Miami. Fantastic. We're seeing some images coming out of the England friendly match. It would rain, interrupting the game. I mean, let's begin from there. Weather is going to be a huge problem at this World Cup, no?
It always has been. I mean, that's this is the time of season. This is the time of year where you have interruptions, not just only in football. You have it in baseball. You have those protocols already in place. This is something that it's not something that came up just now. It's something that's been in place for years. And I'll switch it a little bit. Let me talk a little baseball first, because in baseball that happens quite a lot, especially down here in South Florida. The reason why the Marlins, the franchise here in South Florida, ended up having to get a retractable dome or a retractable roof on their stadium. And it's not only that, they've talked about the heat. They've talked about here in South Florida for the World Cup matches with Hard Rock Stadium not having, it's an open air stadium. It can get up to 40, 41, maybe 42, 43 degrees with the heat index.
Wow.
So,
that's
I mean,
that's hotter than normal in Ghana at times. That's crazy.
That's hotter than Qatar.
Absolutely. That's
and I'm talking about if you kick in the 60, 70, 80% humidity that there is every single day down here. Wow. So I mean, each city is going to have a different challenge. It's not that Miami, and it happens everywhere. You're going to have to deal with the dry heat in Kansas City. You're going to have to deal with the humidity in New York or New Jersey, and even up in Boston as well. There are different challenges. And on the West Coast, the dry humidity as well, but also the forest fires that are in place as well that you do have at this time of year. Even so, I was just looking at the news, and they're like, hey, by the way, welcome hurricane season started 2 weeks ago, but there's an advisory that there could be a very intense hurricane season on the Atlantic coast. So these are things that are very normal. You're forgetting the tornadoes. You're forgetting that South Florida in and of itself is the lightning capital of the world when it comes to strikes and when it comes to people being killed with lightning. So there's a lot of diversity when it comes to weather in the United States. It's normal, but it's something that will affect the World Cup because it's being played at this time of year. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, we will come to you. I have a couple more questions for you, but I think the sports minister is also joining us, as well as an ex-Black Stars player. Augustine Ahimfo and Honorable Kofi D. Adams have also joined us here on the show. Let me begin with you. Honorable, you're very well dressed. It looks like... Are you coming from a wedding? You look too well dressed this evening.
Oh, you're kindly on mute for us. Oh, goodness. Whilst he sorts that out, we will try and sort that out very quickly so we can hear him. Yes, but Augustine is on phone.
Yeah, Augustine Ahimfo has joined us on phone as well. Yeah, Augustine, good evening to you. Fentio here. How are you doing?
Good evening, friend.
Yes. Anyway, thank you, and we're very happy that you could join us. Talk to us about what you believe will be the biggest challenge for the Black Stars at this World Cup, because we have, as you heard from Juan there will be quite a number of challenges, even with the weather. But from where you sit as an ex-player, going into a competition like this with all of the headlines we've seen around this competition, what do you think would be the team's biggest challenge at this competition?
First of all, I think the weather will not be an issue because where we come from is very, very hot also. Even though it's a bit humid when summer comes around. Our biggest challenge for me, I think, should be how we shape the team going forward. From what I saw in our last friendly game, I think that the coach wants the team to defend in a unit. And so he tends to want to let the boys be behind the boys be behind the ball. And if we're able to do that and do that well, I think that we'll be able to sail through. But then for how long can you conserve, which is to defend and then hold that you can recover the ball and play on the counter? So this is what is going to be our biggest challenge, how to shape the team to have good results going forward.
Okay. I'm going to say one more question for you before we go back and try to re-establish that audio connection with the sports minister. Now, obviously, I've read quite a number of previews to this tournament, and not many people are giving Ghana a big chance, mostly because we sacked our coach 72 days to the start of the World Cup. This coach has only been in charge a few weeks to the World Cup. He's only had one friendly match to play before the competition. And if we go to this competition without playing another friendly, which looks like will be the case, someone like Antoine Semenyo would not have played a game for nearly a month before the Panama match. How do you think all of this is going to affect our preparations and in terms of how fit we are getting into this competition?
Frank, it is what it is. I mean, we appointed this coach that late, but I think in football terms, from where I'm coming from, we can always try to correct the wrongs that we've committed. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because if you look to club side, coaches are fired in a day, 2 days, they appoint new coach, and then the team is doing well. Sometimes change is very good. Our problem is that we've not had the team together for some time. And so the training that the coach is having now will benefit the team eventually. I think that we should allow him to shape the team, not really the friendly matches, because I'm just watching England play Costa Rica, and it's a very tough game. So I don't know if by the end of the 90 minutes somebody is going to get injured, even though it's a friendly match. So I think that we should have the team prepare and prepare well. The friendly game, yes, it's okay if we should have one, but it's not an issue if we don't. We can always build the team by ourselves when we decide to stay quiet and then do our own thing, so that people don't know exactly what we are planning. I even heard that the game we're supposed to play was going to be behind closed doors. Unfortunately, it couldn't come up. So I think that the time that they've had together thus far can do that as the magic.
Okay, absolutely. All right, you stay with me. Let me go back to the Honorable Sports Minister now. Honorable, thank you so much. I hope you can hear us and we can hear you now. I was asking whether you just came from a wedding, but I think we're long past that question now. The players are in the United States now, obviously. They will need a lot of support at this World Cup. What is the situation with our fans, the ones that we intend to take to the World Cup, both the ones we are taking from here or we are helping to get there, and then there's the ones that are there that we are trying to sort out with tickets? Where are we with that?
Well, thank you. Good evening and good evening, my campaign manager, Evans.
I mean, now I'm campaigning for you to bring the World Cup home.
To bring the World Cup.
Yes, bring the World Cup home.
Good evening to Augustine and all others who are on Zoom this evening. I think the energy level is quite high. If you observe, even when the team arrived in the United States at that late point, the number of Ghanaians who were at the airport and at the hotel to welcome them should tell you one thing, that Ghanaians in America are ready for the team. Ghanaians in Canada are ready, and Ghanaians even in Europe are planning to travel that far to also go and watch on their own. And the energy is building up also in Accra here and beyond. And so in terms of preparation of fans, both whether you are talking about Ghanaians in diaspora and Africans in diaspora generally, they are yearning to be behind Ghana. And so I must say that many things are falling in places for us. That is why, thank you, and Evans, I say that this World Cup, you may think that we don't have the stars, but let me tell you that we have a team that has a certain spirit behind them that will take us very far. Just analyze and look at even the draws that we did. Look at the positioning, the cities that we got. These are cities that are heavily loaded with Ghanaians. If you go to Canada, we all know that Toronto has huge black population. Ghanaians are there. We didn't choose it.
Oh, goodness. And he's making a very important point.
Yeah.
But, often when you're in the underdog, nobody gives you a dog's chance. That is when the pressure lifts and you're able to express yourself fully on the pitch. And I think that's the thing about this particular incarnation of the Stars. Semenyo is the only outright star in our midst. And Semenyo is a star who emerged basically in the last 6-8 months, if you like. It is really when he went to City that you could say he really became
next level.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is good because you don't have Kudus there. He's the only person. Yeah. And the rest of the team is just going to play. That's sometimes, and I say PSG is an example of what could be when you have a strong team and people. Blaster's going to surprise people.
Yeah, Honorable, we're back with us. Thank you. You were talking about the existence of a very strong support base for the Black Stars.
Yes. So this, I believe, will push us through. This, I believe, and the coach too has done well. Look, the coach has imbibed in the team a certain team spirit, that it is not about just an individual, but it is more about a team. That if you all defend, you all in the midfield, you all in the attack. And you benefit from having all these departments work together. And so each must cover the other. And so the team spirit is what is going to drive these our Black Stars at this tournament very, very far. Okay. And I think you are right when you talk about the physicality of the Panama team. That is true. But you would observe also that in terms of our training, the coach understands the World Cup is all about also physicality. And so there's a need to build the physical well-being of the team. And that they haven't denied that there's a need for improvement, and they have worked at it. I saw a certain level of energy when we played the Wales. I think I saw a certain level of energy. And with the continuous training they have had in America, I believe that we will have a good team that will come against Panama, England, and Croatia.
And Fincho, on that point about the fans, and we'll do that, then we'll take a break and return and sit down. Very briefly, Kofi, since we have you, address this for me. A few things that had come up today from your colleagues on the other side in Parliament about the fans. First is the allegation that government is giving tickets to NDC MPs and constituents. And that they've left out the minority side. First of all, are you giving tickets and allocations to NDC MPs and some of your constituents, NDC constituents, to fly to the...
I believe that about 2-3 months ago, a video went viral where an MPP communicator on SYZ TV announced thanking me for allotting slots, 150 slots to MPP, and that 100 of them had been issued visas. I don't know if you saw that video.
I didn't. I don't know if you saw it. I didn't.
The MPP intentionally created that to create a certain mindset against government and against the NDC from its support base. Today, they did not react to that it wasn't true, because it served their political agenda and purpose. Today, you have a deputy minority whip also raising an issue that don't even exist. Look, not even a single ticket has gone out. Our tickets, 80% of Ghana's tickets we bought are tagged tickets. When we say tagged tickets, it means that you cannot even share it individually. Because we wanted to avoid a situation where somebody will be given a ticket, and if there's a possibility, that person will engage in a resale for a critical match and take the money and go back and say he or she have not been given a ticket. So we went for more tagged tickets. So 80% of our tickets are tagged.
And this 80%, it's which category of people got the 80%?
It hasn't even been shared yet. So you need to go through a process. That is why in Canada, the High Commission have announced that persons who are interested, you have to submit email address. You have to download even FIFA app to be able to use the ticket. 700 of the tickets involved in Ghana-England game. They have also delivered about 700 for Ghana-Panama and 625 for Ghana-Croatia. This night, we expect the remainder of the tickets to be delivered through the DFA-appointed officials who is in charge of what? Tickets.
Okay. And with
so
these
for
tickets,
anyone,
yeah.
Evans, let me just finish. Let Ghanaians know who MPP are. clearly they speak only to destroy, not because they want any well-being. That's why I gave you an example of an earlier MPP communicator that you never heard any of their officers come out to say, this thing you are saying is not true. Their director of protocol that he referenced didn't come out. The general secretary didn't come out. Nobody came out to deny that that thing was a lie because it served their interest. Today they are throwing another one out there. So Ghanaians must know who NPP are. And I want to put that aside. But I can assure everybody, including your good self, that we're going to be very transparent in terms of who gets the tickets. It is not going to be done on any partisan political line. We are going to make sure that Ghanaians who are interested and really want and are organized. Of course, we have some organized groups also that will reach out to make sure they are also given some of these group or tag tickets to enable them attend. Okay. So disregard anything from the MPP.
Okay. My next question to you, and this is important that you brought that issue up about the number of tickets they got, because the initial impression was that Ghana got 1,000 tickets, and everybody assumed the 1,000 tickets were for all three matches. From what he's explained, it means it's 1,000 tickets per game. That's what
per game.
Exactly, per game. That's what the situation is. Yes, and in the spirit of transparency, we've also seen some figures being bundled around. How much in total have you spent on these 3,000 tickets? Because that's 1,000 per game for 3 games.
We paid 1,126,000 United States dollars.
1.1.
Tickets are quite expensive. 1.1226 United States dollars for ticket.
Okay, and I think
I heard you earlier talk about the supporter tier ticket.
Yes. How many of those?
The supporter tier ticket we got from in Ghana is 150.
Okay.
And that goes for $66.
Okay.
So the supporter tier that was created went for 66. What we did was to apply for the lower tier tickets. Unfortunately, per the FIFA distribution and sale rules, you cannot get just the lower tier tickets. They give you tickets that are lined in a certain manner. So you sit from lower all the way up. You can't get only the lower.
Yes.
So that is why we were anticipating to spend about just 770 something United States dollars. But we ended up, it jumped to 1.126 because you have to be forced to buy some higher category tickets, category 1 and category 2, more than you actually wanted. So in some instances, we were sold category 1 tickets about 400 when we only wanted 100 category 1.
Wow.
We were sold 400 category 1 tickets because that is what you can get to commensurate with a certain number of category 3 tickets that you want.
This is per game.
Per game.
Wow.
So have we settled yet on the criteria for the distribution of the tickets?
So we've asked people to, because one thing also must be made clear, that these are not physical tickets that you go holding and sharing like we used to do in some previous World Cups, as it happens in maybe 2006, 2010, 2014. It's not like that. It's electronic. And even with the electronic nature of the tickets, the tagged ones, you cannot easily transfer. If, Evans, I transfer these tickets to you, you cannot transfer the ticket. If you want to, you have to get back to me.
Okay.
So you go through a certain, even if the single ones that are transferable, when I transfer to you and your phone is missing and you want to move it onto another phone, you go through quite a complex process. FIFA itself worked tirelessly to reduce a certain level of ticket resale, unauthorized ticket resale. And so it's gone a long way to help all of us. And so nobody will get tickets and go and stand somewhere and resell these tickets and not use it for the intended purpose. So we are capturing email addresses, and we are engaging groups that we know already exist. Some are in Toronto, they are drumming groups and what have you, and they are interested in coming, they are engaging, and we are directing them to speak to the appropriate authorities, the High Commission and the consulate in Toronto. So we will use these channels to be able to do the distribution.
I mean, do I hear you say that all the tickets will go to Ghanaians who are already out there in the US, Canada, and Mexico?
No, not all. Of course, we are sending people from Ghana here. There are Ghanaians who are also going on their own from here. And we need to also, someone cannot pay for air ticket from here to say Toronto, or from here to Boston. And then when the person has not got access to tickets, you deny that person. So some quantity will be reserved for Ghanaians who are going on their own. And the funds that we are sponsoring through the fundraising effort would also have some of these tickets given them. And the rest is given to Ghanaians in diaspora.
And just before we sit down, what is the total budget for this? The entire participation, right?
Well, we know the budget for the team, 13.7 million. All these other extracurricular activities involving the fans is what I want to know in the spirit of transparency. How much do we know how much we anticipated to raise, but how much are we anticipating to spend on all of these tickets, all the funds we're taking there, all of these other...
So, in the spirit of transparency, as we indicated, I believe that when the committee will reach a certain point, we will indicate clearly everything that has come and what has been spent. But so far, we have not been able to raise more than, I think, $7 million. I don't think we are up to that figure yet.
Okay. And the minister will stay with us.